Now, Mr. Horton, as I probably you've seen from some videos that I've sent yesterday, yesterday being Wednesday, the 23rd of April, my surprise at not having to adopt the same technique that I had to adopt, your suggestion, to for me to enjoy Carry On Emmanuel, which, like the two Timothy Dalton films and the James Bond collection, I avoided them two films like the plague for years. Emmanuel was no exception. And you said watch it, and I watched it first time, and I thought, well, this is all shite. And I watched it again with our lass, and she said, a Carry On Emmanuel does not feel like a Carry On. So you suggested watch it as a standalone film, if it was like a confessions type film. And gradually, I grew to like Emmanuel. It's not in the top 10 by any stretch, but I enjoy it more now than I did watch it, say, the first two times. Now it comes to Columbus, a film which I have been avoiding for the past 33 years. And I read a lot of the IMDb reviews, the Rotten Tomato reviews. I watched some amateur and professional critiques review the film on YouTube, including an archival review from Films 92 with Barry Norman, who absolutely eviscerates the film. So all the critiques, basically the majority, were absolutely assassinating the film, were destroying it. So when it came, my expectations were pretty low. I mean, pretty low. Like, I spent over 10 quid on this bloody thing. At £10.19 pence off Amazon. Brand new and sealed. I've only seen the first half. And as I pointed out to you when I filmed the when it was at the menu, which have 3 options: play, scenes, cast. The first 2 are self-explanatory. The cast is just basically text, like a stories behind all the actors in text form. And for some obscure reason, they have some really horrible 90s techno rave track as the menu music, which has no relevance to the period which the film is sending up. However, a lot of critique says that the alternative comedians like Rick Mail, Nigel Planer, Alexis Sale, and the others didn't quite fit in with the old timers. That although the majority of them obviously weren't in that many Carry On films. I mean, there was obviously Jim Dale playing Columbus, Leslie Phillips and Joe Whitfield, King Queer Spade, Peter Gilmore. I've seen him in a little scene. Obviously, there's Jack Douglas. Bernard Cribbins plays a good part. I think, yeah. I mean, there are, like I said before, there are some recycled jokes from some of the old Carry On films. One off back when I mentioned earlier, Maureen Lipman says something about something my brother, the Count, which, as you know, is John Sims' line in "Don't Lose Your Head." And there's a few other jokes which have been recycled for this show. But when I saw who wrote it, Dave Freeman, wrote 2 episodes of Bless His House, which I've got on now on ITVX. And the film's on there as well. This is, they don't write songs like they used to anymore. I think it was done deliberately as like a tribute to all the Carry On stars that were not around anymore. So what I've seen say is like the first half of the film, and I like it. I really do like it. I think the scenes, especially between Julian Clary and Richard Wilson, really work well together. I mean, Julian Clary plays like a slightly dumbed down version of Kenneth Williams, although he's not as over the top. But Richard Wilson, brilliant. Jim Dale, brilliant. Even though the Carry On stars that come back didn't at the time have any great affection for the film. Even Gus were laughing. I think it is okay. It's not going to be number 1. It could just scrape, for me, it could scrape into the top 10. It's tons better than Karen England. It is probably edges Emmanuel. So I'm angry that I didn't give this a chance all those years ago. Why have I waited for it when it came out in 1992? And obviously a year later, Gerald Thomas died in Beaconsfield. I think it was 72. But good. I would say if you haven't got it already, Mr. Horn, order it. Then we can have a Carry On Columbus Zoom session.
Well, you never know. 8 whiskies might have brought out some hidden talent.
No way!
But I have absolutely no complaints about having Carry On Columbus. Like I said, if you haven't got it already, Mr. Horn, get it. It's a worthy collection to the classic period of Carry On films. Yeah, some of the probably double entendres, innuendos are a bit old hat. I would say, based on what I've seen so far, although I have yet to see the film in its entirety, the one thing, or two things that I found slightly irritating. Number one is the techno rave music used for the menu once the thing loads up, and brief snippets of Rick Mayall's performance in the early stages. There he goes, next. And Bert Kwok comes in as that issuing tariffs for like spice and stuff. But there's some good scenes by good acting by Rick Mayall. It's just some of his little bits of his delivery is a bit way over the top. But that up to press is the music saying, "Oh, it's on a tight budget," and you can tell. Obviously, a tight budget. So what? I mean, if I'd believe if I still kind of believing uh, all these reviewers, professional and otherwise, on YouTube and all the reviews that it's abysmal, it's shite, it's tired, it has been the alternative comedian method with the old comedian actors don't gel. But what I've seen, it is a worthy addition to the Carry On series, and the fact that it's taken me 33, just about 33 years to have a go, and my first impression of the first 45 minutes, brilliant. So, Mr. Horn, if you haven't got it already, get it, please. I said I've seen the one on eBay for $9.99. One brand new, £10.19 on Amazon. But it is a worthy addition to anyone who's open to a modern mix of old and new, and obviously it'll be the last ever one produced by Gerald Thomas, because obviously he snubbed it a year later. But I really am surprised that I found that I didn't have to think of it as not a Carry On film, but try imagine it if it was like a send up of Columbus, but nothing to do with the Carry Ons. We don't have to. It kind of feels like a brave effort after such an absence from the Emmanuel from '78. It feels like the first, it was 13 year. It feels like it's a fresh, brave attempt. And go it.
So just watch it. Well, go on. Be especially helpful to those closest to you.